Hi, everyone. Even though I don't think there's anybody here yet. Uh, I'm Shirley from Shirley's World, and I'm on YouTube at least twice a week on Sundays and on Wednesdays. I'm a reseller. I sell used clothing and pre-owned clothing and shoes, men's and women's, and this and that sometimes. I'm sort of interspersing some other things right now. But I sell on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. Just a little bit on Mercari, but mostly eBay is where I get the sales. So that's usually what I talk about. But on Wednesdays, it's just chatting about with whoever comes in, chatting about whatever is going on. I use my money from eBay. That's where I make most of it. I just usually make just barely enough to help me pay for my horse's board. That's what I started doing this for. I've been selling on eBay for a long, long time, but not seriously till about maybe 3 years ago. Then I started seriously trying to make grossing at least $2,000 a month, so that if I just cut that in half, it'll be enough to pay my board for my horses. I have 2 horses, Echo and Preacher, and it usually costs that much for their board, the farrier, medication, anything else that they may need. So, hi, Bumblebee. This week I beat you here. Yeah, I was just telling what I use the money for eBay for, mostly my horses, but I use it for other things, my animals too. I have a rescued dog, English Pointer. I'm really thinking about getting another one, maybe a little girl pointer. And also I have 2 barn cats that used to be feral that are, well, no, one's a barn cat, was very feral. I brought her inside, and now she's the most loving little cat ever. And then I have a rescue site, another cat. And 8 chickens. That's probably what I film the most of when I am outside. I usually do some filming of my chickens. I've 8 laying hens. They give me organic eggs because I feed them organically, and they get to run around in a huge area outside. I can't exactly let them go free range because I'm surrounded by a golf course. I live on 1 square acre that's cut out of a golf course. The reason being is my little acre lot was the original farmhouse that the golf course is built on, or the farm that my house is. But this used to be like 180 acres, I think, this farm. It was a dairy farm way back in the 1800s. And I don't know when the golf course started, to tell you the truth. I never looked that up. But I know this house has I think I'm only the 5th or 6th owner of this house. It was built in 1852. It's an old farmhouse. I love century homes, even though they're very expensive to keep up, very expensive to live in the country, period. Mostly because I have to use oil heat, and oil, of course, is the most expensive fuel that you can have. runs my boiler, and then my boiler sends hot water through the floor, the tubes around the floor, so I have hot water heat, which is really nice. But that was all put in later. I have a big open fireplace. Hi, Sue. In the family room. You know, this past winter, I didn't burn one fire in the fireplace. I don't think we had enough cold days in a row that I'm really low on wood, and I was only going to use my wood if I really needed to keep warm, and that never came up. So I never burned last year in the fireplace. But usually I love to make fires in the fireplace, but not last year. I don't know how this next winter is supposed to be. How is everybody doing? Bumblebee? Sue with your long hair. Did you get the picture that I sent, today's baby picture? I started, I have a new deck that's much smaller than my old deck. Wait till I read Bumblebee's message here. Our Salvation Army is closing up. Oh no, Friday's their last day. It's a small store, so they're pricing to sell. So I've been shopping while I can with me in mind. Oh, good. Yeah, ours is pretty big, and it's about almost a half hour away from me. I don't usually go there. The reason I don't go to mine is because the only day that you get good prices is on Wednesdays, because I think like all Salvation Army stores that are, regular Army, Salvation Army stores, they run their half price sales on Wednesdays. So you have two Salvation Army. Have I been in both of them? I think I've been in one of them, I know, Sue. But I haven't been going to any thrift stores actually, but I very seldom go, because on Wednesdays it's so crowded that there's not even baskets. Unless you're there when the doors open, they don't have enough baskets. So you're stuck in there trying to get things without having anything to put them in. I mean, you can take a bag, but then you're carrying the bag. So I usually don't go to Salvation Army. Our Goodwill prices are better anyway. But like I said, I haven't been out. I'm one of those people holding up in their house. I was telling my sister this yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? I listened to 2 or 3 long historic videos on the Spanish flu. And there's several out there to watch. They're historical videos all about it. And I think everybody should watch those. I mean, we should learn by our history. And the two of the coronavirus and the Spanish flu are so similar, and the people's reaction to the two are so similar. They reacted the same way as what's happening now. It's really, they didn't even have a hope of it. They didn't even know what to do at all back until it was a long time before they figured out even to wear masks and to keep away from each other. But if you look at the pictures, they weren't distancing at all. But everybody finally was wearing a mask. But every single time they started to let down on their guard, they had a huge spike. And it turns out they had 3 when it initially hit, then they had a second spike and then a third spike. And all those spikes were horrible. They call it the Spanish flu, but they're pretty sure it really originated in an army camp in Kansas. It wasn't in Spain. But Spain is the one that was keeping track of things, whereas everybody else was trying to hide it because it was during the war or right after the war. They didn't want anybody to think that we were weak. So they didn't mention that half of the army was being killed off with the flu. So they didn't keep track. But they figured out that anywhere between 50 and 100 million people died worldwide. This is worldwide, of the Spanish flu, what they call the Spanish flu. But there's a lot to learn by listening to these historic things about that flu. I ask you what you like, and you whisper in your ear, in my ear. Oh, okay. I'm on your shoulder when you're thrifting. Oh, good. Well, you always send me great boxes because I always sell a lot of the things you've sent me. Obviously, you're sending good things. So, yeah, I was looking for some china to list in my old cupboard in the parlor in there. And this was behind one of the pictures in there. So here's another one of my paintings that I just did on a little piece of round wood with this great horned owl. I forgot I had this one. Yeah, I have a list of things I was going to talk about. I plant that clover that I planted, me and my handyman's wife planted on Friday. It took 3 days to sprout up, and it's just growing like crazy. If you look over the whole area, it's all green now. I keep sending my sisters pictures, baby pictures of the little baby clover. It's little micro clover, they call it, mini or micro clover. But boy, it's going like gangbusters because we've had rain, the good rain, which gave it a great start. So the next 4 days, I think, we're supposed to be sunny or partly cloudy and sunny. So that'll be good too. So that's going really good. I have to say that the other night I was eating supper. I can only eat on one side of my mouth because I had that loose tooth, that had broken off at the gum but was still in there. Well, it finally broke off all the way. I didn't swallow it, no. I didn't swallow it, and I just sat there and waited to see if I was going to get a toothache. But I think it had been loose enough that I would have gotten a toothache when it first happened. So I haven't gotten a toothache. Thank the Lord. So, because my appointment to have, that whole dental oral surgeon thing is until the 21st of this month, which I'm not looking forward to. But I did make, when did I go to the dentist? Last week, to have anything fixed that was on the bottom. It was just 2 fillings I needed. They were small. My whole bottom gum jaw was numb. And anyway, I noticed that when I went in and had the work done in that, of course, her helper is on my left side all the time. She talks. They talk together, and then she talks to me. And I realized that I wasn't really even scared, like I usually am, like this when I'm in the chair. But I think it's because that seems small as to what's coming. So maybe that's what it was. I'm not going to talk about that because I don't want to get all anxious. I did have something scary happen last evening. I went in to get some ice cream out of my freezer. I have bottom freezers. I have 2 pull-out drawers. And the ice cream was in the top pull-out drawer. And when I opened it up, it was all soft and mushy. Wasn't frozen. Then I felt the other things in that drawer. Nothing was frozen. My waffles were soft, everything. It was unfrozen. So I opened up the refrigerator where it tells the temperature. And the temperature of the refrigerator part was 48. It's supposed to be 37. And the freezer was 24 degrees. It's supposed to be, or maybe it was 34. One of the two, and it's supposed to be 0. So I thought, what in the earth has broken? I mean, this is a huge refrigerator that fits perfectly in this spot. The cabinets were built around. Well, the cabinets were built, and then, yeah, I had to pick out the refrigerator and get the measurements, and then he built the area that goes around the refrigerator. So I'm thinking, this isn't good. Number one, the refrigerator is your most expensive appliance in your whole house, and I had just bought a washing machine. And so I went and got the manual. And I found out I remembered where all the stuff was from the new kitchen. I was thinking maybe I had the kitchen built 6-7 years ago. Well, when I got the folder out, it gives the dates. And they started working on my kitchen in the end of 2010. And that refrigerator was installed in March of 2011. So all this time, it's a long time. It's 10, 11 years I've had that kitchen. Just doesn't seem that long, but anyway, you can adjust the temperatures inside the refrigerator. There's a place. So I put them back to what they're supposed to be, but I kept peeking in the refrigerator to see, and of course, it wasn't moving. It wasn't going down. So I took all the, in the bottom drawer, things were still frozen. I took all the meat out of there, and I put the ice cream down in the freezer downstairs. I have a tiny little freezer. It's already jammed. But I fit the ice cream in there. I rescued the ice cream first. And then I took any meat that was, and anything that I had cooked and put, containers of that I had made dinners, I put those downstairs. So I figured if I lose anything, it's going to be bags of vegetables and waffles and things like that. So I didn't know what was going to happen. I worried all evening about it because I kept peeking and nothing was changing. It was probably because I kept opening the door. but I kept switching the numbers to what they were supposed to be. Like I said, I did find the manual. That was 11 years ago when I still had a brain, and I kept everything together and put it in my files in there. So I had it for troubleshooting. It has things to check before you call serviceman. So I checked everything, and I did what they said about the temperature, and then I just closed the door and said a little prayer. And I have to tell you, this morning, it's running fine. The temperatures are back down. Everything's frozen. I went and rescued my two of my ice creams that were downstairs. Of course, they're going to be all crystally, but they're still edible. The rest of the things I'm leaving down there. So that was the catastrophe that almost happened last evening. Let's see here. Let's see. Your paintings are all good. Great to figure out how to photograph them. Transfer to a puzzle and sell them on eBay. Maybe your daughter could help professionally photograph them. I don't know. Right now, she's not interested in anything except making money because she was out of work for a while. She's back to work at the bar, and she has photo shoots coming up, one of which is a wedding, which will be good money. And Bumblebee, did I put my tooth under the pillow? I don't think it would count. It was only half a tooth. No, I didn't. I'm just glad I didn't swallow it. But actually, I'm able to eat better without worrying too much about this tooth wiggling around. I can't eat on that side. I don't want to get things up in there, but yeah. Anyway, today I ordered, well, I had to go to Tractor Supply curbside pickup and get some chicken feed. I almost ran out because that's the one thing that the raccoon tries to get in. He doesn't like the scratch, but he always tries to get in the chicken feed. So I got 2 bags of chicken feed, and they're in the house, right inside the back door. I brought them inside. That's where this other things are too that he likes to get into, because he still comes around. He tried to get in that can I have on the back deck that I put a bell on the top. It's tied shut. He can't get into it anymore. But when he tries, it will ring the bell. But it must have been in the middle of the night when I was sleeping because I didn't hear any bell. But I noticed it was cracked open about this much, but he couldn't get in it. So he did try. That bad little boy. Or girl, whatever it may be. It's one of the youngsters. Let's see. I have a list of things I was going to run over here. Oh, I was going to tell you what I just ordered. I've been seeing the ads on Facebook. There's several different companies that are doing it now, but I think this is the first one that I saw that started this. It's called Imperfect Foods. And it's a lot of produce. You know, like when you get things out of your garden, they aren't the exact perfect looking pepper or perfect looking tomato like they have in the stores in the packages. I mean, when I had gardens, my tomatoes looked all, bonky sometimes, but they're delicious. And your peppers sometimes aren't perfect, and your zucchinis and whatever. So this is that. They're perfectly fine, but they're not exactly what the store likes to put them up in the store. So they rescue these so they don't just get thrown away, and they sell them for inexpensively. So my first box, I don't know how much it weighs. My first box, I just ordered produce because you can order produce, pantry, meat. I think you can even order meat. Oh, there's the FedEx truck. I already got a Prime delivery of cinnamon sticks I ordered. I'll tell you what that's for in a minute. But this Imperfect Food, it's going to come every Thursday, weekly, but you can cancel when, if you want it every 2 weeks, you just cancel it to every 2 weeks, whatever. So I'm figuring out for the price of this, because to buy produce in the store, it's expensive. So you can either have regular produce or organic. This first time I ordered regular. Next time I'll try this is going to be $16 for a big box of produce. So I'll try it and see, and I'm going to then try the organic and see how that is. But what I don't use, I'm just going to throw into the chickens. I mean, I buy an awful lot of produce just to give my chickens, to tell you the truth. I buy bags of spinach and bags of kale and all kinds of stuff, which is expensive in the store, and I just give it to my chickens. I eat some spinach. I don't eat kale. I don't like kale. But spinach I like. But what I can't use, I throw to the chickens. So chickens can eat anything except citrus. They can't eat oranges or lemons or any citrus. They don't eat. Or anything with a stone. Well, they can eat the fruit. Like, you can give them peaches, but you have to take the stone out. Stones and seeds of fruit have a little bit of arsenic in it. I don't know if you knew that, but yeah, so you don't feed it to your chickens. I don't think it's enough to really hurt them that much. And they wouldn't be eating a pit from a peach anyway. FedEx. I hope this is, this could be a thread up box. This could be either a thread up box or a Chewy's box. I don't know if I have a Chewy's box coming though. I bet it's a thread up box. So I may be on in the next day or two for a box opening. Oh yeah, they eat dry dog and cat food. They love when I take cat food or throw cat food in there. I've never thrown dog food in, but cat food I throw in there once in a while. The raccoon, I feed the raccoon also dry cat food once in a while. I'm trying to coax him out of the garage, so I make a big bowl of water and I'll put a little bowl of cat food, dry cat food, outside away from the garage, trying to keep him out of the garage. I don't think it works, but anyway, that's why I do it. Yeah, I was saying I was waiting for boxes, but that may be one. That may be, excuse me, that may be one of them right then. I started to list some different things because I didn't have any, I don't have anything to list as far as clothes go. So I went shopping in my house and I listed some antique and vintage china. And I also found, in fact, today I was down in the basement. I found some baseball caps down there that I hadn't listed. And I also found a folding knife. I used to put knives on. My husband had a whole bunch of pocket knives, like guys have. And I sold a lot of them back. This was way before I was doing a lot on eBay and never on Poshmark, but this is a long time ago. So I found this knife, and it was a stainless steel knife, had two blades, and was in really good condition. So I brought it up, cleaned it off, and it had marks on it. It says Weiss Sheffield, which is a good blade, Sheffield, and that had numbers and all kinds of stuff on it. So I looked it up and I found out this was a military knife that was doled out to the, and it had a date, 1955 on it. So I found the exact knife on a collector's page on Google, but there was no pricing. You had to pay to go on this site to get pricing. Well, I'm not going to do that. So I just put sort of a higher price on it and see where it goes from there. Because I know what knives were going for when I used to sell them. I don't think this is anything hugely wonderful, but Posh Planet, hi. Oh, the chickens. Well, the chickens like it too. Yeah. Must be Chewy's. That's why Dexter's barking. Could be. Mm-hmm. Yeah, raccoons will eat anything. They eat mostly anything. Even though I did put some oranges that were starting to get sort of not so good out there. And I peeled one of them a little bit so that they could see that you peeled them because they were youngsters. They didn't touch them though. They never touched the oranges. So maybe they don't eat citrus either. I thought raccoons eat anything. But anything else I've put out, they eat. So, yeah, I put the knife on today. I put the china and stuff on yesterday. And if that's a thread up box, I'll have clothes for in a day or two to list. But I'm still working on things I found. So I have some baseball caps. Then I found upstairs. Now I knew I had these, but I hadn't really thought of listing them because they are a shipping problem. And that's why I haven't listed these, because I've thought of these before. I have some cowboy hats. Most of them are mine. Oh, I should put on straight. This is one, I thought that this was the one that I wore in Colorado. And if it was, I wasn't going to sell it because, it was one I had when we went skiing in Colorado. We both bought Western hats out in Colorado. And we were spring skiing, so it was warm enough to wear them. So I had to actually go upstairs and find skiing pictures and look at the hat that I wore. But it wasn't this one. It was a denim. It was a denim hat. So I'm going to sell this. I don't know where I got this. I don't remember even getting this. But this is a Stetson, crushable. And it's called a half dome. It's 100% wool felt. So it's size 7. So these are my size. And so I have that one. And then I have another decent one. It's by Miller Western Wear from Denver, Colorado. I don't know. This is also 7, my size. So I don't know. None of these are my husband's because he had a big head. I don't know what happened to his cowboy hat. He wore his a lot, even at home. He always wore boots. And a lot of times he'd wear his Western hat. So I don't know. And he had a couple of them. I think they were leather, though, if I remember. At least one of them was. I don't know what happened to them. I don't have them anymore. But this is a decent hat. These both sell for over $100. Not used. These new. These aren't new. We have to sell them as pre-owned. So, when they're pre-owned, they don't go for as much. So, I don't know. How do you ship this? That's the problem. That's why I haven't put them on. Okay, then I have this one, a straw hat. This is by Summit Hats, Houston, Texas. So this is a huge hat. It's too big for me. But look what a wide brim. This is a real cowboy hat. This is a Texan hat. So this straw hat, this goes for really good money too. And then I have a cheaper one here that I have worn. I'll tell you what I wear it for, or wore it for. This is just a Wrangler hat. It's a cheaper hat. It's very big, has another wide brim. And I keep this by the back door sometimes. And if it was pouring rain out, if you put one of these big Western hats on, it's like an umbrella. And it collects the rain, and you just tip your head forward and the rain runs off. And these, I don't know what they're coated with, but they're very sturdy. So I did use this myself for that purpose. That other straw one would work as well. I think the other one is, the brim is even bigger. Yeah. In a big box. Yeah. I think they're even too big for a large box. I'd have to really search for a big box. I don't know if it's worth going through all that trouble or not. But that's what I found so far. Every time I go looking, I find things. So, yeah. I went to see my horses. Oh, yeah, I go about twice a week. Last week, I only got there once. I usually go twice a week to see my horses. And I waited and went on one of these rainy days. 2 days ago, I think I went. Because I knew they'd be in the arena or in their stalls so that I could actually be with them. So I got there and they were in the arena along with the other 2 horses that's in their little herd. So I thought, oh, good, I'll go play with my horses. So they ran up to the gate. The door was open. and they had rolled in the arena dirt, and the sand in the arena is oiled, so there's no dust. But the trouble with that is it clings to everything. So it gets on your ropes, your pants, everything, and it clings to the horses when they roll. That's the first thing they do when they go out into the arena or outside, they roll. They scratch their back. They just like to roll. So both of them, Echo, who is black normally, he looked like a brown horse. That's how much he had on him. So I went in and I got my stick pole thing that I use just to stay with me, to keep with me in case they come running from behind. I just put the pole up, and they know to keep away. But they've been trained. My horses have been trained with that white long stick. It's not to hit them with, let me put that out there. It's just to give them something that's longer than your arm. It's an extension of your arm. That's what it is. You can touch them here and there. And you can, in the beginning, you get them so that they are used to touch. It's a whole thing that you do with it. But I always have that with me. I just feel safer, especially I'm in there with 4 big horses, and my balance is horrible. So I just feel better when I have the stick with me. You think it's worth it? Price them up. Cool. They are so sweet. Yeah. I had a bag of carrots and apples, but I know better than to take that into the arena with me, because they just won't even get back from me. So I wait till after I'm done playing with them in the arena, and then I go outside the gate, and then I give them their treats. So they knew I had the bag, though. When I came up from the driveway, I came up and they ran over to the open door. They saw the bag of carrots and apples. So they were looking for it when I went into the arena, but I didn't have it. They always search my pockets. So I just ran them around. I wanted to see how Preacher his trot was looking. He's still looking really good. And just played around with them for half hour or so. And that was it. This next week I will try to get out there. I could have gone out there actually this morning, but maybe I'll go out there tomorrow. Depends on if I have what box I have. I could go out on Thursday. I try to go out Thursdays and either Saturday or Sundays. So we'll see how that goes. I always forget to take pictures. When my daughter's first question she asked me, did you take pictures in the arena? No, I forgot. So I was telling you about my daughter, she was out of work all this time, but she's back to work at the bar now. Just 3 days a week, but now they've stopped any selling liquor at 10 p.m., which just cuts their tips in half. I mean, and everybody has to be out of the bar by 11. So she gets to go in an hour earlier, but the money's not going to be as good. So she's still not in good shape. So. I did call the car dealership because my lease is going to be up in September. And here it is August. So I did call Honda's where I got the car from. And they do not do extensions on your lease. They don't have the lease anymore. It goes to the Honda leasing place. You have to call them. You don't call the dealership. So they said they will extend your lease for a year or so if you want. So I have to call the leasing agency. Because I'd be okay to keep this car another year before I give it up. And I'm not sure, they may reduce the price a little bit because now it isn't a new car. It's 3 years old now. So I don't know. I have to talk to them. If not, I have to go through the whole thing of turning the car in and picking a new car to lease. So that involves going into the dealership because I'm not sure if I can buy a car online. Sue, I know your son did. I don't know. I did buy a washing machine online. I didn't think I'd be able to do that either, but I'm very pleased with my washing machine. Anyway, I think that's all that I had to talk about. Besides putting some different things on to be able to list things around the house I've been putting on, I went through and I put almost all my t-shirts and almost all the baseball caps on auction. And I put them on a 7-day auction. They end on Saturday evening. So that's a good time to end them. Saturday evening or Sunday evenings are good times to end them. So there's a lot of auctions, all the t-shirts, all the caps. There's lots of lookers or, people looking, but there's no bids yet. But that's how it is nowadays. I've noticed it's different than when we first started. When I first started selling on eBay, I did all auctions because I was selling things that were better to do on auctions, like silver coins and things like that. And when you first put them on, I would put them on for 7 days, I think. And people started bidding like 2 or 3 days later, and they just bid up until the end. They don't do that anymore, I've noticed. They wait till the very last hour or two, and that's when they bid. They're trying to, bid before anybody else and be the last bidder real quick. They don't want to have to sit and keep checking on their bids. So they bid differently nowadays. Before I did these auctions, I went on Bin Pickers and to their sites and saw how they did. They've run a lot of auctions. So I sort of went my prices and how I'm doing it, because you have to charge shipping. So you're not really paying somebody to take the things away. You have to at least get your shipping and a little something for your item. But I looked at how they were doing it, and then I put the t-shirts and the caps on auctions. So we'll see if I get any bids at all. I don't know. I don't know how to get this off of here now because I can't find it here. It's crazy how fast everything is moving. Can't believe it's almost fourth quarter. I know. We didn't really have a spring to count. And this summer has gone so fast. And pretty soon it's going to be fall, and then winter is going to come, which is going to be which will probably drag on forever. So here I sit in my house, only going out for what's absolutely necessary, like the dentist. Other than that, I'm not having any contact with people. Now, Jolene is coming to walk my dog, but I put him out on the deck, and she takes him from the deck, puts his gear on, takes him for a walk, brings him back. We talk through the door, and she has her mask on. And we talk about her chickens. She has chickens too. But yeah. I moved my little play washing machine out of my bathroom. It's now sitting in my kitchen. Did I say this last time? It's now sitting in my kitchen, but I can't carry it down the steps myself. My steps are what my sister says my basement steps are treacherous. I don't think they're that bad, but I would never. This little baby washing machine only weighs 30 pounds. I mean, I got it out of the tub and carried it out to the kitchen. It's not that heavy, but it's very cumbersome, and I would never attempt to do it myself down to the basement steps. So I wouldn't have an extra hand to hang on. So I have to wait till somebody comes in. I could have asked Jolene today, but I forgot about it. She'd do it for me. So that's about all I had to say. How's everybody else doing as far as the pandemic goes? Bumblebee, you're going out because you're going shopping, which I'm glad for, because I don't actually think it's that non-safe. I think, like, next week I get my hair cut, and it's on a Monday, and that's when I usually go in the Strongsville Goodwill, and they have the dollar day that's on Sundays and Mondays. And I always like to go and see on Monday if there's anything left for $1. The bad thing about that Goodwill is they don't have any plush animals for some. Well, they have a few on a shelf, but they don't have bins of them like they do at my Goodwills. I almost went on the next door or the neighborhood thing that we have along our roads. It's on Facebook, I think, or maybe it's just emailed to you. But you can go on there and ask and talk to your neighbors or whatever. I almost put a comment on there about if anybody has anything to give to Goodwill or has any plush that they want, their kids' old plush that they want to get rid of, that their kids have outgrown, or that they just are cleaning house and they want to get rid of things. Call me and I'll pick up things that only clean things without any contact. If they put them in bags and put them in their garage or out front, I come and pick them up. Then I can always drop them off at Goodwill, the stuff that I don't use. I may still do that. I was on there, I was going to do it, and then I didn't. So I don't know what you think about that idea. I know some people were doing that were online. You're looking forward to a really good snowstorm. I like blizzard. I like to be snowed in, actually. It won't be anything different for me. As long as my boiler keeps going. Of course, then I could build a fire. I need to get more wood. I could also go on the neighborhood thing and ask if anybody has any wood. Yeah. Let me see. My Goodwill has cut their plush in half. Oh dear. For some reason. Why? Wonder if they are listing them. I don't know. Well, that's not good. When I did go in, when we had that, seemed like things were a little safer, like a month ago, I did go in my Goodwills and they still had the bins full, but they usually separate them into two bins so that they're not, they have their bins that are this high. It's hard to get to the bottom ones and see what all that's there. So they pushed all of them into one huge bin. It was just hard. Plus, I didn't feel like sticking my head down in the bin of plush animals. But anyway, I don't know how it is now. But I may venture to the Goodwill on Monday when I get my hair cut. I don't know. We'll see how safe I feel that day. But I think I'm going to go because it's almost Dexter's feeding time. He's stirring around out there. I can hear him. So I will finish my tea. Go have a little piece of cake with this. I have a rotisserie chicken in my refrigerator that stayed cool the whole time during that fiasco last night. So I know it's still okay. And I've been picking at it. There's still stuff left I can eat off of the rotisserie chicken, or I can just make myself a can of soup. I do have some Panera cheddar broccoli soup in there, which I like a lot. So I may have that. Yeah, he hasn't come to the door yet, so he is a little late. I think he just woke up. So I'm going to close for now. If that is a ThreadUp box, I will be on in the next day or two. Watch for a little announcement. I will try to keep it at the same time, 4 o'clock. I will put an announcement on like 3:15 or whatever. And we'll see. So I'm going to say bye for now, and I will see you in the next couple days, hopefully. Bye.